going on, everybody? I am Tiffany B from the Stats on Stats podcast, and today we're at BSides Tampa with
Ebony, DEM Tech Folks.
And we are talking to people at BSides St. Pete, and we have someone here with us today, and his name is
Kareem.
So tell everybody.
Kareem.
Great, Kareem. So tell everybody what it is that you do.
So right now I'm just an intern at June Cyber for Wilson Bautista, and just kind of trying to break into the field. And he's been teaching me a lot, and that's pretty much it. Just an intern, lowly intern.
Oh no, we all start somewhere. How did you happen to get connected to Wilson to get into the program?
So I had a few friends that kind of did the internship through June Cyber, and they were like, hey, we learned a lot. And currently I had a friend that did it right before me. He said every day he came home, right, I talked to him every day. He was like, hey, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. And he was super excited about it every day he came home. So it was one of those things where I was like, dang, I want to learn also. So I reached out to Wilson on just LinkedIn, and he got back to me really quick. And he was like, hey, you want to start next week? And I'm like, sure, why not? And that's how we got there.
And then it was a match made in heaven, and I love that. So in this internship that you've been interacting with right now, I see that you've met a couple of different people because your shirt looks different from everybody else's here. So what are you doing at the conference?
So I'm just volunteering. So it was one of the things where they asked us, they said, hey, who wants to volunteer? And I was like, I looked up the BSides website. I'm like, you know what, why not? And now I'm here.
Can you tell a little bit about your volunteering experience since you've been here?
So far, I mean, I was guarding the volunteer room. Then I went into one of the speakers. I was listening to Andy Hopkins, I believe his name was. Mm-hmm. And he honestly talked about just creating a great cyber team. And he gave us a bunch of pointers from the top down. He gave us to organizational level, so executives, employees, managers, and stuff like that, how to create a great cyber team. And I took away a lot from that.
I don't know if we asked you already. Is this one of your first conferences?
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you, in terms of conferences, what have you learned so far, and like, how do you feel about going to more in the future?
It's all about getting out of your comfort zone, and one of those things you just have to be confident just to be able to take that step. And once you take that step, you'll just get used to it.
And you are actively getting out of your comfort zone, right? I just dragged you over here into this corner to talk to you.
It was one of those things where I didn't know I was going to be on this, but it was I've never done this before, so this is a new thing for me, being on camera and stuff like that, and it is nerve-wracking, but also it's just one of those things where getting out of your comfort zone helps you in the future. So.
Okay, and when you think about your future, like, what do you see in the next 3 to 4 years for you?
So the next 3 to 4 years, right now I'm working on just a GRC internship. In the next 3 to 4 years, hopefully figuring out what exactly I want to do in cybersecurity. And so far I'm also doing a technical analyst internship, also just learning the basics and the concepts and stuff like that. And I'm also in school for cybersecurity at SBC. And I plan on applying for my master's this January. It's just trying to figure out exactly what field I want to get into.
So it sounds like you're doing a lot, and I don't want to hear you use just in front of one more thing that you mentioned about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just a volunteer. I'm just going to school. Like, you just rattled off 7 amazing things that you're devoting your time to improve yourself and presumably like the people around you, right?
Yeah.
So with this master's program, what do you think you're going to do with this?
I'm going to use it to help me learn more, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love learning, and I'm always open to new experiences, which is why one of the things where I agreed to come on the podcast, because I was like, hey, I said, yeah, I'm going to commit to it, and you just commit and run.
So what is one thing that you're looking to get out of this conference besides this very snazzy t-shirt that you have on?
Just networking with different people and just understanding how they got into the positions they got into and how to learn from them.
Is that important?
Yeah, continuous learning is very important to me, and it's what I thrive on doing. It's just if I'm in a spot where I'm not continuously learning, then I'm not gonna enjoy what I'm doing.
And how did you happen to decide to pivot into this particular space to do some more learning? Because I mean, you could learn about anything in the world.
So I mean, So I had a few classes left over from my GI Bill, and I took a few cybersecurity classes while I was in school because I already have my bachelor's. I've already gone through the schooling, and it was just more interesting whenever I took the classes. I was a lot more involved, and I was a lot more like active actually doing the homework instead of just like I'm just gonna take the quiz. I'm just gonna just make sure I study for the quiz. But it's just this continuous learning helps. So it's just one of those things where I want to learn, and it's just making me more motivated the further I go into it.
Is there anyone in particular that you want to meet at the conference?
No.
Is there anyone that you found really amazing that you've met at the conference?
Honestly, so I've had a one-on-one talk with Andy, and I actually was just talking to him in the break room while he was getting ready for his speech, and it honestly spoke to me a little bit about how organizations take care of their employees, and it's, me coming from a different organization and a different work style. I worked for an organization that did that, but it's also they didn't leave room for growth. So it's one of the things where it's very vital to like make sure from top down everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, that's actually something that I've been communicating to my existing organization. and it seems like it should just be an obvious thing, but so often it gets forgotten in the day-to-day operations. And so, yeah, that's crucially important. So hopefully you'll start to include that in your interviews as you transition into these different jobs that you're looking in. Is there any area of cyber in particular that interests you?
So coming from the military background, I do like the compliance side. It's just pretty much like you're
like tell people what to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like you follow a set of rules and you just become compliant to it. It's just step by step. Also like just learning like why is it compliant? Like why do we need this, and explaining, hey, we need this because of that, and it's just seeing it on all levels, whether it's from the top or the bottom.
Is there a framework in particular that you like for compliance?
So far, from the internship I've learned from June Cyber is the CMMC, and it's honestly it's bold, it's big, and but it's very like knowledgeable. I enjoyed it. Yeah, constantly doing research on it.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's exciting. I love to hear this. CMMC is kind of big right now, and it's kind of transitioning into a lot of federal spaces. So I think that's a really great step right now for your career, for your interest as you explore. No comments. Great. I love that. I just wanted to double check you didn't need anything else. Okay, so Andy has been particularly helpful to you, and Wilson has been particularly helpful to you, and now you're kind of expanding in your GRC activities here. When is your internship over?
So my internship is over in December, and I plan on kind of just staying as long as I can because, like I said, continuous learning. And
right.
As everyone knows, Wilson is always continuously
Wilson's
learning.
Everywhere.
He's everywhere. So as long as I can stay with Wilson is as long as I will be. And,
Yeah, he's
it is a 10-week internship, but like if I could stay longer, I definitely would, and I would definitely put in the work to like help out because it's honestly been a really good experience.
Are you looking for work after the internship, or are you just kind of?
I'm actively looking for work right now. Also, it's just one of those things where I know my level right now, and my level is just kind of learning the basics and just understanding the roles. And right now, I wouldn't take on a job if I didn't honestly fully understand the role. And I'm also like Andy taught us, you also have to be picky about what organizations you work with and if they're going to take care of their employees, if they're going to take care of their managers, and just the organizational structure. You want to be a picky person. So
very picky. You want to be very picky. We're not settling for just anything out here. That's not where we are right now. Oh well, you told us a little bit about your military time, and you told us about your transition into technology and your internships right now. Your interest in frameworks, CMMC. I can recommend a couple of more after this. Actually, I have some work I could have you do right now, but we're not going to do that. That's not what this is
if
about.
If you're looking for an intern. I am in the business.
Always looking for an intern. You emphasize the importance of soft skills and interacting and just like kind of finding places outside of your comfort zone. And I think that those are all really positive attributes that, we want to encourage to our listeners, to our watchers, and to everybody that's attending. So are you going to be volunteering for our next BSides events here?
Oh,
I say
yes.
our very loosely.
Definitely. I definitely will be, and this is an eye-opener, and like I said, it's always an opportunity to learn, especially from different people. You guys have different speakers every year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where you want to learn different aspects of everything. I just like learning, and just like learning how everybody thinks about everything. Like different views helps.
Different views definitely helps, especially from a cyber perspective, because even from a compliance perspective, because you got to figure out how to get people to do what you know that they need
to do. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it, Tiff.
Well, I guess we're done here.
All right, keep it short and sweet.
See y'all.